Oh, my apologies for being a little late. We're gonna make some chord progressions right off. Start with like just the basic bitch stuff. We're gonna do 1, 5, 6, 4, which is like the most common chord progression ever used in existence. So I'm gonna do this. Do do dum dee do do dum dee. Little off there. All right. Do so dum dum. Dum 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 dum. For whatever reason, I'm getting that that clicking. I just think there's too much in the too much going on in the DAW itself. For it to also, yeah, this. Let's see. Do dee dee la la. Not sure if I want to do that. I'm trying to think of the bass line. La ti do re do re do do. Yeah, we can just do something like that. Minimal movement. Do re do do. There we go. And that is your basic bitch sounds. Hey Zine. Hey Sebastian. What am I doing? I am looping. I am practicing looping. That is what I'm doing. Let's see. Dum dum. Oops. Pass that one up. I'm using sometimes video quality renders every frame and other times it drops off for a half a second. That has everything to do with my let me change the stream output settings if I can. I don't think I can while I'm live. No, it's pretty low. Really, it has to do with the fact that I have shitty internet. That's what it is. I have shitty internet. And in order to convince my wife to move back to not shitty internet, I'm gonna need to bring in a little bit more cash money, which I have every intention to do, and it'll happen. But in the meantime, it just fucking sucks. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do 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 re do for the bass line. Dum, dum. There we go. Got what the 5 chord was on the pad. Dum 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 dum. Huh, it doesn't work because with the harmonizer, if I don't have... So I would need to do this. Do, re, and then do, do, do. There There we go. So I need 4 voicings instead of 3. Do. Re. Let's see if I can. Do. Re. There we go. Re. I think I'm just gonna use 2 hands. If it were piano, it would be easier, but this is not piano. All right. Because otherwise, the solo voice sounds weird. It's, you know what I mean? The lower bass line doesn't have a chorus effect on it, so it sounds weird. Bum, 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 bum. Still too much. Oh, annoying. Anyway, because I can't EQ, because this uses the same this effect in order to minimize the usage of CPU on my audio computer. The same channel. Excuse me. The channel. There we go. The channel that I have the harmonizer on has also the regular mic. So if I do this, we're getting a proximity effect. And because we're getting a proximity effect, I can't, you know. Hold on. Because I'm using the, not intentionally, but because of the consequence of the proximity effect, just by proximity of the mic, if I don't handle that carefully, then these lower notes, this bass line that I'm making, just sounds ridiculous. Now, there is one way I can actually deal with this. Do, 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 do. But the reason I don't like that is because I designed the harmonizer to accept some of the lower range by lowering the pitch of or lowering the volume of the lower harmonies in the harmonizer. So that really messes with how how sonorous it sounds because there's no bass. An option is I could make the bass line later, but I'm lazy and I want to be able to lay down harmonies very quickly. So here we go. Let's just practice a little bit. Do, re. And I'm in both hands. Do, re, do, do. Wait. No. Fa, la, do, mi. There we go. Okay. Do, re, do. By putting my face to the side, I'm not as close up to the mic, so that's what that is. And I also need to bring back chat because that closed. Technical difficulties. Why does it sound like a harmonica? Because I'm using a harmonizer. What is my main goal? The main goal for me with looping is to make music videos super fucking fast. Because in order to test, you know, the people who run music video channels who can just knock it out of the park every 2 weeks, that's insane. That takes a level of understanding what people want to a degree that is just prodigious. It's very, very, very different. So music videos take the longest time pretty much of any content, aside from animation. in terms of content that does well on YouTube. Music videos are probably the most time consuming with the least reward because they're short. So you don't get to put a lot of ads on it. And generally people are searching for covers. So if you do a cover, you at best. I have no idea why OBS keeps crashing on me. Yeah, I know. It keeps happening. Same with Discord. I have no idea why. I have no clue why. I might just close Discord and see if that helps because maybe using the same has to do with maybe using the same thing. I don't know. Oh, also actually wait. I think I might be using I might be downloading something. So let me yeah, I'm downloading something. So let me pause that. Oh, it already. All right, well, whatever. Okay. So yeah, music videos are, in addition to animation, just the hardest niche to compete in, both because it's incredibly labor intensive with very little money involved, but it's also occupied by like Taylor Swift, right? So in order to compete, I would need to release quickly just to be able to understand what people want before I invest big time into a production. And additionally, I would still need, even if I wanted to do like an incredible production, you know, you can, if you can produce quickly, you can do more, right? And then you can make a better video because you've done 20 things for your first phrase as opposed to like 2. You know, to make it a bit more interesting. So that's really what looping is. It's practical production for me. I hope that answers the question. It took me like 3 crashes in order to answer that question, so hopefully, let me just try getting rid of shit. I think it might be Discord. I'm not positive. Anyway, try this again. Tom, 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 Tom. All right, I don't think I have a choice. I think I need to lower the input of that. I think I know what to do here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, buddy. All right, there we go. Nice. Now I have it on a knob. I kind of want to make that knob visible, actually. Hold on. Which knob is visible? This one. Feel bad. I got my nails painted for the first time ever, like a while ago, and I just haven't kept up with it. But here we go. There we go. This will help. Tom, Tom. And this is why we practice. Tom, 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 Tom. trying again to use the proximity effect to get the kick drum hit it. Or I could do this. So in addition to kind of using the proximity effect, higher frequency. I hate this. I'm probably gonna need to restart OBS or like reinstall it. Fucking hate it. All right. Anyway, in order to get to block a frequency or diffuse a frequency, the surface area in which the frequency exists in, so lower frequencies are bassier and they're larger, right? So in order to deflect or diffuse a larger frequency, the surface area needs to, at minimum, match the wavelength, the size of the wavelength. So a higher frequency is very tiny, right? So it's right. So bass kick bass, right? We have lower frequencies, hi-hat, we have higher frequencies. So if I put this right here, you're going to see that the higher frequencies are like kind of blocked off, right? You see how the bass kick drum is largely unaffected? That's kind of what I'm going to do here. Nice K snare. It's like, thanks. I love K snare. So let's see. My life is brilliant. Here we go again. Let's try that again. Fuck. All right. Let me get one. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. But I forget the words, but I got a plan. So, in addition to all that tomfoolery and trickery, I'm doing yet another little thing here. It was really popular at the time. Can I add throat bass? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Do, re, do, do. Do, 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 so, no, do, so, do, yeah. Yeah, so it'd be so la fa. There we go. Yeah. Do so la fa. so la, so la, la fa, so la, so fa. There we go. There we go. That's a good idea to add that. Oops. Get that. Bad posture means too much air, means uncomfortable. It's very hard when you're recording. It's like you don't want to make mistakes, so oftentimes like you kind of take this posture that's like almost apologetic. You want to get it right, and so that's not good for throat bass. It's not good in general, but for throat bass it compromises because you're contracting the torso, more air, discomfort. Anyway. This needs an. It's just too. We're gonna do a low payoff. Oh wow, let's do it even more aggressive. So there, but I'm just like getting used to the stream dying at this point. Like I guess we're here, right? The notion that it needs to be cleaner, certainly more relaxed. I think that's just a matter of technique. But I think the low pass filter will address that because right now the mix is getting super muddy. And I probably should have put a high, we'll see. Hold on. Let's try this. Again, with that bad posture, it's no good. You ever look at Reaps 1 when he does a lot of throat bass? His posture is fucking impeccable. Fuck me. I'll just do that. I want to sustain it. Besides, it's already sustained, so I might as well do it just short and quick. It's the mids. The mids are just not. They're too aggressive. Going to the EQ and it's like we're not really using them. As his main snare? I don't even know, man. I don't listen to a lot of like specifically MB14's looping stuff, or at least when I do, I don't really consider the composition of it, which I will, because I'll be doing it myself, and I'll just inherently like notice that shit more. But yeah, the stream quality. What do you mean? Because it keeps fucking busting. It's like it just keeps exploding. It's just like, I assume it's gonna happen again. Let's see. What was I doing? I was doing, yeah. Under the sea. I think I might have lost my loop. Yep. The sea. Yep, I lost my loop. Just as well. See. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, but this is one of the great things about looping. Like, look at how fast I will be able to do this again. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to control the lower frequencies with simple mic placement. The closer I am, the higher the lower frequency, the more distant, the less lower frequencies. In addition, I'm just going to lower this a little bit so that you can't hear me very well. And by singing these bass notes with the actual harmonizer, but keeping the main mic low, we're going to get something that's not muddy. For example, if I did dum versus dum. So you can hear that the lower frequencies are not so muddy at that point. I wonder why that didn't work. It was in 7/8. Yeah, not the time signature I was trying to work with. It is indeed totally. Yeah. Got her face looking at me like, all right. Nope, wrong chord progression. I'll just. There we go. Killer can freestyle in 6/8. I mean, it's actually not so bad. They tend to complement one another. Yeah, if I do like, I don't know, there was another one I was working on. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Like, I don't know. 7/8 is. It's interesting that that's held in such high regard because it's kind of an obscure time signature and it's hard to make musically work. The best example I can think of for like something like that working would be Bernstein's Mass. It's 5/8 to 6/8. Agnus Dei, qui tolla peccata mundi, miserere nobis, miserere nobis, Agnus Dei, quid. Like, that sort of a thing. Taiko, I guess it works too. You do 5/4. Like, something like that. I need to hear more Skiller though, because like when I heard him doing 7/8 freestyle stuff, it was like those videos were old as fuck. So like, you know what I mean? Like he's probably like way better at doing it now, and it'd be interesting because 7/8 is fun. I don't think it works everywhere, but it is fun. So I'd like to see that. Anyway, probably do my job, my job. Sound. Motherfucker. Dum dum da 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 dum dum da da. Saving. Add a reverb. And it's, oh, okay. So that should be, yeah, getting reverb here. Or there. First clap and so first things first. Oh my god, that's loud, isn't it? Okay, there we go. First things first is we're gonna lower the mids and the lows so that the harmonies sound really good. I have an EQ preset for that. Boom, we're shoving it on there. All right. The low end there is still a little excessive for my taste, but it works for right now. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to lay down rhythm tracks. I'm going to do something that will lower the intensity of the highs, but keep the lows. And it's going to be really, really simple. Listen to this. Right? And now listen to the hi-hats as I do just this. The reason why that works is because lower frequencies are larger, and if you want to diffuse a larger frequency, you need a surface area that is as large at a minimum as the lowest frequency that you want to change, that you want to diffuse or disperse or reflect. Whereas higher frequencies are very tiny. So even if I do this, my hands together don't really match the frequency size of those lower notes. Not to mention, I also have them separated that way. The reason I'm not doing two hands, though, is because then it'll affect the snare. So there's a difference between right? But that's a really cool trick. If you're trying to lay something down really quick, you can just be like, so with that in mind, usually helps if you're in time. Tends to help if you do it in time. All right. Now a very easy way to keep the hi-hats is to use a low pass. Because using chicanery like that doesn't, it's very difficult to control bass with just mic placement. Usually you do have to kind of use an EQ. So if I wanted to relayer this on the high end, I'd be having a hard time. Because hi-hats are very quick. So just to test this. It's failing miserably. I'm actually just hitting the fucking snare. But let's do that too, actually. That might be interesting. It's not completely in time, but that's fine. So what you're going to see here is that I'm bringing in this snare, but listen to what happens as I lower and raise the fader. You're going to see that the lower frequencies go away when I move this down. There's a few reasons for that, and we'll get into that.
Lower frequencies need more volume in order for the human ear to hear it. And this is true because of the way that the human ear is tuned. Let's get actually a picture up. I think it's interesting. I did have this on Discord, but my love is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. It was with another man that I won't join. So I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. Must be an angel. When she thought up that I should be with you. But it's hard to face the truth. I will never be with you. All right. I always get mucus in my throat. Do you have remedies for that? Anything acidic. And stay away from dairy. Lemon juice, apple cider vinegar. You can go too far in that direction too. But if you don't have mucus, you can then start using dairy. I need to figure this out. I hate this. Your mucosal lining is affected by dairy and or acid. All right, now I wanted to show this. Bring this up on the screen. Downloads, please. Let's do this. Nah, let's do this. Nope. Do this and then we'll put this back on. So what we're looking at here is the frequency response of the human ear. You can see that it's very, the low end is very tapered off. I mean, it makes sense, right? Look at the size of this, right? We're talking about frequencies and larger waveforms being lower, right? Well, look at this, right? You're not going to get a lot in there that isn't higher. And then you're going to get a lot there that's higher. And then at a certain size of the ear canal, you're going to amplify certain sounds, and that happens to be at 3,000 hertz. So when we have something that is lower in the frequency range, if it doesn't have enough power or volume behind it, it falls off tremendously. Listen to this. Oh, let me just do this a different way. No. And this works because it's like a ratio. Right? When you lower the volume, the low end drops off dramatically, right? Because, look at the arc, right? Whereas if you lower the mids and the highs, the mids kind of go down gradually, and then the highs are the last to go. So these are ways you can control volume in different frequency ranges. And so with that said, I'm going to bring up that snare double that I made, but it's only going to be a little bit because I'm just putting it on the high end, so it'll sound like this. So you can see here, or you can hear it rather, that this snare is much better blended. as opposed to if I were just to leave it like this. The idea being is that I want to blend it until it sounds like it is one sound. Okay, now we're going to get into bass, building a bass. One of the things that can happen really, really, really fast when you're mixing or tracking anything in any circumstances is that you're going to get a very quick buildup of the mids, and it's going to get super, super, super messy. So if I'm trying to make a bass line that follows the harmony, and I use something like throat bass, I want two things. One, I want an EQ that cuts out the mids. Two, I don't want a lot of movement in the bass line because throat bass, even for those who are really good at it, there's not a lot of there's not that expansive range that sound can do. There's a limit, right? So if I have the bass line that I have ready is do, do, right? Do, re, do, do. And the reason why that's going to work is that it's because those are notes within the chords, right? So I have this. Do, re, do, do. The idea is it's called voice leading. It's to make singing and laying down tracks a lot easier. Very, very much a tool of Baroque era music where the tritone is considered to be the devil's interval. And so voice leading was very, very meticulous so as to avoid parallel fifths where the tuning might lend itself to having a tritone. I can get more into that later. Comment down below if that's what you want me to cover eventually. Anyway, let's add a bass line. I'm going to cut the mids by adding an EQ. We're going to take that EQ that we used, and we're going to keep the mids low. I'm actually going to cut them. And then on the low end, I'm boosting it a little bit. I think the pitch is do, do, yep. And then because I want it to be a bass, I'm actually going to lower it down. I'm going to go so, do, so. We're on the one chord, so is in the one chord. So is in the 5 chord. La is in the 6 chord. Fa is in the 4 chord. And then so then we go back to so. And that's going to be the bass line. See if I can practice it. Do, so. I'm trying very hard to make sure that I'm not doing this with the sound, because if I tighten my jaw like that, we're actually going to lose a lot of notes. So I'm loosening my jaw as best as I can, and I'm trying to keep things from getting tense so that they're looser and larger, and therefore highlight better the frequencies that we're aiming for to begin with. Okay, so here we go again. So for whatever reason, I'm getting that I have another OBS instance in my tray, and then I don't know. I don't know what's causing this, so I will have to figure that out Friday with my friend, where we go over the week in hindsight and retrospect. So let's see if I can get this camera up. Technical difficulties. It wasn't this much of a pain in the ass when I was doing the shuffle stuff. It wasn't that bad. Let me check if this is a matter of scene switcher. Drinking a bottle of kombucha right now. I stop drinking milk. I don't have any musical background, so stupid question. Isn't it much easier to use a keyboard instead of pads? Yes. Yes is the answer to that question. Technical difficulties. It's much easier to use a piano. There's also larger range. There's larger range. It applies itself to music theory very easily. The reason I'm using a pad is just because the amount of space that it takes up. You know, I have two 88 key keyboards that are both weighted. They're great. They don't really fit very easily into my setup right now. Like right now I have my computer keyboard on my lap, right? This is on my lap. And then, so yeah. Yeah, pads are just, it's a size thing. That's what she said. Anyway. Do, so. I'm going to do one other thing with this bass line is that I'm going to put an attack on it because that makes it easier to do, but I don't want the kick drum doubled. So I'm actually going to use my throat like that in order to get rid of the sibilant that is the P. Do, so. There we go. Most native English speakers aren't good at their own language. Yep. Yup. And it's funny because as an American too, everyone's like, oh my God, my English, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, my anything is going to be bad. Like my French is worse than your English. My German is like any language, you know, Americans don't learn other languages. They take them in school and then are lucky if they remember them. Unless your parents are native speakers to another language. So there are some notes that are slid in there, particularly the la. And in that instance, you can absolutely hear a separation between the bass and the other harmonies. But if I hit this play button, you're going to notice that this too blends very well as the double snare does. I lowered it a little bit. There we go. And so that adds a little girth. That's a word, girth, to the mix itself. And now we have the singing. One, two, three, four. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. But I don't know the words. I don't have a plan. All right. So this is a thing that I also think is really fun. What I'm doing right now is a technique that was super popular in the mid 2000s. You had Adam Levine doing it. You had it was James Blunt who made this song. I don't even know his name, but this is what it is it's a nasality and it's a very bright vowel with very neutral and relaxed things. So my life is brilliant. My love is pure. And she will be loved, and she will be loved. It makes singing kind of a lot easier to hit those high notes in a way that's not so dramatic. Back on my window, knock on my door. I want to make you feel beautiful. Is there a way to assess the pitch of your lip oscillations more easily? I don't know. So. No. There we go. So. Kind of. I think it just takes a lot of ear training. It might help if you sing it. So. I don't know. There is a way to do it. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. It's very hard to associate a pitch when it comes. Percussionists are really good at this. I think that's probably the best way to do it is vocalizing, trying to match the pitch. So we're going to do this two ways. We're going to do it with the James Blunt sound, and then we're going to just do it with my normal singing technique, which is not like this. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. Da da dee da da dee da ba ba squee da ba da dee. Yeah, a little cringe, but what was it? There's another one. There's so many songs that go to this chord progression. Is it fuck? What are the lyrics to that song again? There's so many, but I'm thinking of Eva. Man, I'm just blanking. It's super blank. I'll just look it up real quick when this happens. Dun, 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 dun. Don't Stop Believing.
That's loose. So it would be just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. There you go. Don't stop believing. What's nice about having this recorded is I can do like I can do like 50 covers. Like I can do just so many covers because they're all, this chord progression is so pervasive. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. I took the midnight train going anywhere. And I can do the same thing. If I do this. Just a small town, just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Let's see. Lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. There we go. Dum dum da da dee da dee da da dee da. It's a super popular chord progression, but at the same time, it's kind of a banger. Like lots of bangers were written with that song. So the accompaniment style would have to change. But otherwise, yeah. Not bad. Imagine you take a well-known pop song. People do that. It's great. Let's fuck with that, huh? Boom. Boom. Just a small town. Just a small town girl. Girl. Living in a lonely. Living in a lonely world. Dumb and dumb. Just a small town. Just a small town girl. No. Just a small town girl. Living in a. That was right for it. Just a small town girl. Living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going going anywhere. Where? No. Anywhere. How to Ruin a Song by Lesage singing. That's the next video that's going to be made. Also been wondering what electronic music will sound like in the future. It is interesting because, you know, like I don't think anyone would have predicted dubstep. Like Skrillex came around